Greetings from Bristol Motor Speedway. I'm Doug Rice, joined in the booth as always by Mark Garrow.
Doug Rice has loved his front row seat in NASCAR as the lead announcer for the Performance Racing Network.
I enjoy going to the booth and putting on the headsets because, you know, we hear that countdown and then all of a sudden you're on the air.
Pace car on the pit road.
It's like, here we go.
Reddick gets a little bit of jump.
There's an adrenaline rush that goes with that. That's game day. That's race day.
Rice, who grew up in Asheville, went to the World 600 with his brothers back in the day and was hooked.
The light went off and I thought, okay, this is for real. I really like it. And if you were going to cover big-time sports at that time in North Carolina, you had two choices. It was ACC basketball and stock car racing. And I didn't know anything about basketball. I learned a lot about stock car racing.
Top Groove, not the place to be at this moment.
Doug got involved in radio while at Appalachian State. He loves the intimate relationship you build with the listeners.
When our listeners driving down I-85 listening to the race, that we take them from their car and put them at the racetrack. And once we do that, that's where the magic is.
Oh, the big dogs are on the front porch here at Bristol right now.
It's storytelling. At its essence, I really think sports on the radio is good storytelling.
Hall of Famer Ken Squire was an influence, but Doug had others from a different sport.
My early influences were baseball announcers, listening back to the Braves in the 60s, and they were awful. But the guys doing the games, Ernie Johnson, Milo Hamilton, were wonderful. Here again, storytellers. They painted these great word pictures.
Rice has called some pretty big moments in NASCAR history.
Jeff Gordon out of turn number 4. He will lay claim to his first ever Winston Cup victory.
Jeff Gordon's first win. We all knew that this guy was going to be something. But to see him win for the first time and be so emotional and crying in victory lane with Ray Evernham, that's a day that sticks with you for a long time.
And who could forget the first race on the Roval?
They touch. Jimmy Johnson spins.
When Martin Truex Jr. and Jimmy Johnson wrecked just a few feet short of the finish line.
Ryan Blaney will survive and win.
And Ryan Blaney kind of snuck in and won. And those things stick with you.
So Rice will forever be a part of the soundtrack of the sport.
I think there are periods in the sport that will be remembered for different people. For Richard Petty, for Jeff Gordon, for Dale Earnhardt Sr., for guys like that as drivers. But there's also periods in this sport that will be remembered for Barney Hall, for Ken Squire, and for Doug Rice, because that's the voice that you heard. That's the voice that brought you to the sport. That's the voice that brought you your heroes.
You will still be able to hear Rice on some weekly PRN programs in the future.
Hi, I'm Doug Rice, joined by Alexis, Brad, and Kyle Petty.
But as he takes a step back, he plans to travel the U.S. with his extra time.
I think that chapter's
You think Asphalt will come back?
And there's no doubt a radio with a race on
Meanwhile, Chase Elliott
will be close by.
Now, Chase Elliott moved to the top side of the racetrack, and he's finding a good hookup up there as he goes door to door with Blaney.